So welcome today to another edition of Business Spotlight interview series. And today I'd like to introduce Nathan Crisfield from Peakshape Australia. So welcome, Nathan.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, our pleasure. So maybe if you could just tell us a little bit about what Peakshape Australia is all about and what you do.
Well, essentially, Peakshape's method and our business model is to deliver transformations, not just workouts. So we're a gym that really focuses on all the aspects of a fitness journey and a fitness transformation.
Yes.
And we sort of try and bring all three elements, the really key elements, together in a very different manner. So obviously the fitness coaching side of things, delivering workouts and the best workouts possible to try and sculpt and enhance the metabolic process of training.
Yep.
Nutrition coaching added in on top, or it can be as a standalone thing. And we put a lot of work into customizing the nutrition element.
Right.
And trying to work with allied health professionals in that sort of aspect, as far as blood screening, working with nutritionists if it falls outside our scope. Primarily that sort of happens with women that are in that menopause era, sort of 40 plus. They need sort of very specialized nutrition stuff quite often, and they need a bit of blood work done so we can get a bit of a base of where they're at hormonally, so we can actually give them the best nutrition.
Fantastic.
And then we've got a life coaching model that we've recently brought in the last 6 months. That is specifically sort of targeted straight at a life coaching and mindset side of things, and it doesn't have to be fitness based. Some people come in and they're just struggling with what they want to do with life, which makes it pretty hard for them to focus on the right path for fitness.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
So if we get all three of those parts and we add them all together and put them in the right spot to get people the best result and a sustainable result. It's all built on sustainability, making it worth long term.
Yeah. Okay. No, that sounds fantastic. And how long have you been in business for then, Nathan?
Well, I've been in business since I was 21, and I've been in this business for about 3, maybe 4 years.
Right. Okay. And from a geographic point of view, where are you based, and then what sort of geographic area do you cover?
All right, so the studio in Albury is based in just at the top of Dean Street, corner of Dean Street and Young Street.
Okay.
Right above Q Property Real Estate.
Yep.
And our geographical location for that spreads all across Albury Wodonga. We've got clients that are as far as Badura that drive to do classes.
Yep.
And then we've got some online clients as well that are based. One's in New Zealand, one's in Corryong, two are in Corryong actually. Sorry.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got an online model as well that caters for people who are not specifically around the Albury Wodonga region. Yeah,
that's right. And we've got a digital model that can be spread, nationwide or globally if need be. That's going to be launched in February.
Yeah. Okay. And I know you've already sort of touched on this, but who would make an ideal client or a customer for your business?
So our main clientele that we really look to service are women 35 and above that are either pre or postnatal and need a really good base to either start looking at wanting to have a child, or have just had a child and want to rebuild the base that they had prior to the pregnancy process.
Yes.
Because after the pregnancy process, things really change inside their body and it needs extra support to really get them back to where they would like to be. And then males in about that same bracket, 35 and above, where I'm doing a bit of a dad focus thing at the moment. And it's just same issues these guys are tackling, but just with they just need a different process to get them to where they want to go.
Yeah. Okay. And so what have been some of the biggest issues that you've had to overcome in terms of that journey into the business?
The business itself or me?
Oh, well, either or.
Look, overall, the business has always probably performed quite well. Probably the issue that we're probably tackling at the moment is the whole issue around that everyone's tackling, where living expenses are starting to really hit people's pocket, and their ability to, focus on the things that they need. And fitness is one of those things that it's probably a luxury item.
Yeah.
So to sort of tackle that, that's why digital was such a probably important pivot. And as it comes at a lower cost base, doesn't obviously get the hands-on experience the studio offers, but then I've also made a lower price membership that helps people get in, still helps them tick that box a couple of times a week. Because we are at the higher end of the fitness model, because we are a pretty hands-on sort of focus. So we created a cheaper membership offering to help people still get in the door. And then, inflation and living expenses aren't going to stay this way forever. There'll be a time when we do get a bit of pressure relief. So when that time comes, people will go ready to step it up and spend some more time and money on their fitness journey.
Yeah. And I guess, whilst it might be perceived that fitness might be a discretionary expense, the reality is that, if you really want to be functioning at peak performance all the time, then health and fitness needs to be part of that consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely times when you can scale back. I mean, I'm a single dad. I'm a business owner. I also have a weekend job. And I was running another business up until October, so I was doing two businesses at once. So I definitely understand the ability to not be able to give it 100%.
Yep.
But it's not an excuse to just throw the bag in. All right, it's because in 3 or 4 months' time, when the life pressure is not going to get any easier, and exercise really does help you cope with those extra life pressures. And that's what we understand. The issue has been that we've got to change our business model to try and suit people and still give them the help they need, and then we'll be ready to go when they're ready to go as well.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And Nathan, in terms of inspiration, how do you find your inspiration to keep you focused each day?
It's very much it's intrinsically driven in me, I suppose. I've got a pretty interesting backstory in life that involves a pretty low rock bottom at one point. So my desire to succeed in business and succeed in life is very deep rooted in me.
Yes. Yep.
And it's something I draw on to help clients, because it hasn't always been easy for me. I've had to do my own body transformation. I've had to do my own life transformation leading into being able to coach people. So
yes. Yep.
I've got a toolkit that I picked up that I use for clients, and I also use it on myself to, because when it's running a business can be hard at times. So you've got to be able to draw back on what it is you're doing it for and why you're doing it, so you can keep yourself going.
Look, I couldn't agree more. It can be very lonely in business, and what's really important is understanding your why. Yeah. Why do you do what you do? And who is it that you're actually aiming to serve in terms of your customers and clients? So what's been the greatest learning that you've had about yourself in this journey?
That when needed, I've actually got a great mind for operations, and I've got a great mind strategically, it's actually a skill set I picked up when I was younger. Probably when I was doing my apprenticeship, I moved into an operational capacity pretty early in my apprenticeship.
Yep.
Now we've moved to a bigger scale of business from a Peakshape point of view, and also selling my own small business back in October, is that I've got a great mind for that strategic process and that operational stuff that's really important in any business.
Yep.
Marketing is only half the battle. You can market a business as well as you like, but if you don't have any meat and operational and products behind that, what are you even marketing?
Exactly. And I guess as a small business owner, that's one of the things that we all have to do, is to wear different hats for different aspects of the business. How do you actually cope with that?
The stress of it, But to be honest, the coping mechanism I have is probably working a different job on a weekend. So I drive trucks interstate on a weekend.
Okay.
And it sort of takes me from having to be the small business owner, and lets me just work for somebody for a couple of days. And with driving trucks long distance, I get a lot of clear time to just think, where I can be outside the box, I guess, because it's important to be in the box, but be able to step outside the box and look at things from an external view.
Yes, yep.
And it gives me the ability to do that. Yes, I'm essentially just back to being an employee when I'm doing that job, and I get to look at things from the outside view. And that's an important tool. I use that every fortnight. I go away and just work. Obviously, it helps with cash flow.
Yep.
And this gives me the ability to look at what I'm doing from the outside view, so I'm not just, because if I was at home every weekend, there's no doubt that I would just find something to do on the business. I wouldn't just use it for recreational use.
Look at, I think that's one of the biggest traps that we can fall into. And I see it maybe not necessarily as being a good habit, but actually being a bad habit, is when you focus all your time, energy and attention to the business. It's important to be able to have that out time to think about and do things other than just focusing on the business. And
working on it instead of working in it is a really key thing that I've learned through experience, and then through other people that I follow and listen to. It's a really key thing they always say is important, to work on it as well as work in it.
Absolutely. So in terms then of if you were to start the business again, what would you do differently next time?
If we were to start, because there's two of us in Peakshape, there's me and my best friend who lives in Brisbane, is my business partner.
Yep.
If we were to do it again, we would strategize the business differently, so that the next decision we're making was thought about, 3 to 6 months ahead of when we're making it. We fell into a trap of making decisions as a problem arose, and we had no structure around what we were doing. So potentially a couple of those were bad decisions. So we sort of reaped the cost of making a bad decision 6 months after we made it. So then when you make a good decision, you've got another 6 months of hard work and toiling before you see the benefit of that good decision. So that's probably our biggest learning in the last couple of years.
Yeah, so it's about really thinking through and doing that strategic planning ahead of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Know what your next decision is 6 to 12 months ahead of time, so that you've got the framework around it, and when you pull that lever, you're already going to know what the pros and cons are.
Yes. Yep. No, great advice, Nathan. One final question. What does the future look like for your industry?
I think that the industry it goes through shifts from what I can see. I think that if you talk about Peakshape specifically in our industry, we've highlighted the need for a fitness model that covers all the aspects that we cover. Yep. But also has a fitness and a transformation system and a health journey system that will be ready to cater to people that are 35, 40 plus, because they're coming into that technological era where they're starting to understand technology better. So those people that don't like tech now, they're starting to get their hands on it. So in 2 to 5 years' time, they're going to be ready for a fitness model that can be delivered virtually.
Yes. Yep.
And there's a bracket of people right now that are in that 25 to 30 year range who are about to start having kids. They're probably going to start working a little more because life's changed for them. They're going to fall into the pressures that we all fell into, and for the clientele we have now that are in that higher age bracket. So we're just really focused on having the best system possible, so that when those people are ready for a system like ours, we've got it there ready for them to use. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay, any last bits of advice that you'd like to offer anybody that may be watching this video?
It probably really falls into that operational aspect of what I do. Would be the first bit of advice. Really plan stuff. Even my other business that I just sold out of, that was all just done off a whim. There was no real planning. Not until the last 2 years when I decided I wanted to sell it that I even planned for anything.
Right.
plan and get advice from people that you aspire to be like. So, I mean, I have many mentors. Some of them are people I know. Some of them are people I just follow.
Mm-hmm.
Really listen to everything they say and take the bits out that resonate with you, and then do your own research around that. There's more than enough research around, about starting a business and why you want to do it is important. Research that sort of stuff so you understand why you're doing it, because it's not all fun and games. It's not always nice. It can be ugly.
Yep.
But be prepared for the ugly parts as well as the really good parts.
Look, I think that's fantastic advice, Nathan. And one of the things that we really encourage business owners to do is probably before the planning stage is do the learning stage.
Yeah.
Once you've set your goals, what's the learning that you actually need to undertake so that you can put your best foot forward as you're stepping into that planning stage?
I'd recommend looking up strategic cascading and reverse engineering, so that you've got your goal in mind, and then it'll teach you how that process will teach you how to reverse engineer.
Yes. Yep.
The things you need to learn to be able to execute the main goal.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you for your time today, Nathan. Really appreciate it, and look forward to following you on your journey.
No worries. Thanks, Phil. Thanks for your time.
Okay.